that the Horsemen did not draw just by because our name only because we walked out there. There had to be somebody on the other side of the ring. And rest his soul, Dusty Rhodes was the catalyst for most of that time. He was the leader, but he was surrounded at that time by an incredible array of talent that we were fortunate enough to work with. I count Magnum, Terry Allen among them, and the Road Warriors, and Ronnie Garvin, and Sam Houston, and all the guys that we got to work with. We had the best across the ring that every night forced us to be the best that we could be. And so I think that was a contributing factor in our run. And when Terry had his accident, I remember like it was yesterday. I mean, it was in the paper, and it was about a mile from his home in a pouring rain, and hit a slick spot in the road, lost control of his car, hit a tree, and in an instant, his neck was broken and his career was ended. And if there is one person, and not just because he's sitting here, but if there's one person who had an unlimited future as to where he was going to go, it's Terry Allen. He was destined for many of the things he's talked about, the dues that he paid, the style he developed, what he delivered when he was in the ring. Oh, he would have been a world champion. And I don't know if Tully remembers this, but you were in a battle for your life when that happened. It wasn't just your career that ended. And it was, well, is Terry even going to survive? And the doctor said because he was a magnificent athlete in such tremendous shape, that contributed to the fact that he did survive. And one night, Doug Dillinger, who was in charge of security, and it was well after midnight, snuck us into the back door of the hospital into an intensive care, which you couldn't get there, but we were able to get there. And we walked in, and there was Terry laying there face down on an apparatus with this thing that totally immobilized his head. And he, I'm sure, had no idea that we were there, and he was on a machine that rotated one way and the other so that his body fluids didn't settle. And you heard the phrase, you could hear a pin drop. Well, you could have heard a pin drop. Nothing was said or needed to be said, because as we looked at him, praying that he recovered, it could have been one of us.
Yeah, that was a tragic, all our lives changed. I woke up the next morning and the news, we just finished the 8-month program, and business is booming and everything is looking great, and one of our key players was gone just like that. It was crazy. And we didn't spend a lot of time thinking, as JJ said, but we all drove fast, and we all had cars that could go fast, and it could have been any of us. And it was a day and a time and an era that you never forget. It marks your life.
And I don't know if you people know it, but Terry, he fought back and eventually was able to walk independently, which he can do short distances now. And he told me the other day that when they invented this device that's sitting over there, it changed the quality of his life because it allowed him to have mobility. He's married. He and I have something in common, that we're both fathers of twins, and he gets around on that device, and you people may not know it, but it's heavy, it's cumbersome, and unfortunately, he can't fly with it on an airplane. And when Kyle Klingman invited him to come here, knowing that you people would be delighted to see him, that it involved Terry, and he brought his family with him to get in a car and drive from his home all the way across the country, and it took a week to come to Waterloo to be here to see you people.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. And the thing of it is we got to entertain you guys and put on some unbelievable battles of good and evil and all these things that we did that were, made so many memories. But it's so ironic that, Tully and I, and for me, being reminded so many times about the I Quit match, and no, he never said the word, so we'll just get that out right now.
But I named the book that way.
There you go, and it will still pay off. So, but the thing of it is so I inadvertently ended up in the I Quit match of life. Okay, so this guy who's been watched by hundreds of thousands of people on TV, he gets to play this hero and gets to do all these superhuman things. Got faced with a challenge, and whether I was going to buckle and crawl into my pity pot and become a statistic or not was certainly something that could have happened. Could have happened really easily. But I made a mistake that day that I've never admitted. I've got to admit to everybody here. Well, I never prayed to God to take this away from me. I prayed for Him to give me the strength to do what I knew was going to be ahead of me, and He's been faithful. He's done that. But boy, have I paid for it. I'm here, and the battle goes on. It goes on every day like it does for each and every one of you and your challenges in life. But I'm here to tell you, there is no quit in life. Life is a challenge, no matter what it is, your job, your family, your health, whatever it is, it's a challenge. And my quest was that if I could persevere, whether I had a platform, whether I was on TV, or no matter what I was, wherever we're at, we're an example. If it's at work, if it's with our friends, with our family, you're an example. You're teaching somebody how to react to the challenges in their own life. And if I could do anything and give back to all the people that supported me as I entertained them, and literally the hundreds of thousands of letters I got while I was in the hospital, I wanted them to see that, that thing we lived by wasn't just something that sounded good. Tully got to where he got to be by hard work. Nobody gave it to him. Nobody gave it to me. I didn't come from somebody that I knew in the business that got me in, and I got down the road. We all worked super, super, unbelievably hard to do something we loved, but to be the best at it. And no matter what you do in life, it's the same thing. If you give 100%, at the end of the day, that's all you can do, is give 100% and never, ever, ever quit. And I'm not a quitter. Nobody sitting up here with me is a quitter. None of you guys are quitters. And I want that message to be out there. Through God, all things are possible, 100%. But you've got to move. You can't stay parked. You can't just say, "Oh, poor pitiful me." You got to get up and go for it each and every day. Bad knees, bad backs, bad pains. Oh, poor pitiful me. Go. Get up and move. Do what you can do. And maybe it's not go climb a mountain, and maybe it's not to be able to go run a 4-minute mile or go pin somebody in 30 seconds. But your accomplishments every day are just as important as all these things we're sitting up here talking about today. The things we did that were so memorable, and I'm glad we made those memories for you. But you're making memories today for yourself, for your families. So keep it up. That's all.